really just want to start this video with like some updates. So yesterday obviously I didn't post and I was just feeling so overwhelmed by Jinxxmas and like how behind I was, and I looked at my analytics and they weren't doing good and it kind of overwhelmed me, so I decided to not post yesterday. So obviously I'm posting this today and that pushed Jinxxmas a day behind, so I will post on Christmas. The plan was to end the day before Christmas, but I'll post on Christmas. So just wanted to give that like heads up before like we get into today's video. And this is kind of like a calling everybody out, including myself. So I'd grab some food and some tissues because we're gonna get deep and we're gonna talk. I'm gonna ask like chat like what would you guys like advice on. And I'm only 20, but when I tell y'all, like anyone who knows me in person, and I was like, I've lived a life, you know what I mean? But I'm really just gonna get into it and I'm gonna try and incorporate like some of what I've been through and just like, I don't know. But I kind of want to make this a series, so if you guys like this and have like ideas of what else you want advice on, let me know in the comments and I'm totally down. I'm so excited to do this, honestly. So the last one I got was advice on telling people that you like them. And I get this question so much on my Tell Me. If you guys don't know, my Tell Me is somewhere you can ask me anonymous questions. It's on my Instagram, it's in my bio. Honestly, this is the worst one for me. I don't know. I'm a pretty straightforward person. Like, I'm gonna tell you that I like you and I'm gonna show you. Because I am a firm believer of if they like you, if they want to be with you like they say they do, they're gonna tell you. They're gonna show it. You know, it's not, you should never be like, do they like me? Do they not? I'm a very straightforward person and I believe most guys that I'm friends with and most guys I know are also very straightforward. And girls are pretty like straightforward if you ask them, you know what I mean? If they get that, well, you know, like, no, spare yourself, because the answer is probably no. Like, so that takes me into how to accept rejection. I'm sorry, mom was going crazy in the back of this box. How to accept rejection. I don't know. I'm so scared of rejection. And I know this video is like, dude, when is she gonna give us the good advice? Hold on. But I just want to get these two out the way. Rejection is different. It's different with everybody. It's different with what you're getting rejected with and everything. I think you just have to, the main thing about it is you have to accept it, respect it, and know that it's not you. You know what I mean? Like, if someone was to ask, if I was to ask someone out and they said no, I'm not gonna be like, why is it not me? Why would they go out with Samantha but they won't go out with me? And it could be a preference. It could be they don't like mixed girls, you know? It could be that they don't like 6'3" girls. There's no reason I should beat myself up unless it's like wholeheartedly my personality, like, oh, I'm toxic and that's why people keep rejecting me. But like, you should not have to change your core values and your core personality for someone. If that's not them, if that's not what they're ready for, if that's not what they want, fine. Please, like, you are already so amazing. Like, don't let no one determine your value. That's that. Now to get into the deep stuff, let's talk about people pleasers. I know I'm going fast, but let's talk about people pleasers, because a lot of y'all are people pleasers and I'm not. So hold on, I gotta check on my laundry because my laundry has 4 minutes, but we're gonna talk. Guys, you do not owe it to your mom, to your dad, to your boyfriend, to your girlfriend, to your cousin, to your best friend. You do not owe anybody your life. I don't care if you were crossing the road and a car was coming and someone jumped and like saved you. You do not owe anybody your life. You don't owe anybody your mental health. You don't owe anybody your financial stability. You don't owe anybody your soul. Like, pleasing them does nothing but stress you out. I mean, sometimes they'll appreciate it, but more than half the time, all my people pleaser friends, it tears them up because it's not reciprocated. You will spend day and night like, oh, I don't want to do this because it's gonna offend Billy, and if I do this, then Jessica's gonna think I don't like her, and oh, but she got me these pairs of socks, so I have to get her some. Like, I literally just went through that. It was like, someone bought me some Christmas gifts and I was like, I'm not buying them anything, and it bothered me. I was sitting here like, oh, I should at least buy them like some socks. I don't owe it to them, especially if you tell people, y'all, like, hey, gifts You don't owe nobody nothing. It's Christmas season. And I think everyone's like, oh, but they're getting me a gift. I have to get them. You don't owe that to them. Gifts are not to be bought to expect something, okay? And when it comes to parents, this is the biggest thing. Just because your mom pushed you out her womb and you won the race from your daddy's spermies, you don't owe them nothing. This is your life. They lived their life. They're still living their life, hopefully. If not, sorry. Rest in peace. But you don't have to live for them. I was a student athlete. Now I'm a burnout child. But, like, you don't owe it to nobody. Nobody at all. I did basketball because my dad loved basketball. And I did track because my mom loved it. I was good at both of those sports. I got scholarships for both of those sports. I did great. But they took the fun out of it. When I realized I was running for them, it was less fun for me. It was like I was breathing, eating, and sleeping it for them to get their approval. And it's like, ew, for what do I like? And I feel like if you live that way, you're gonna hit your 30s and be like, oh my god, like, what is my personality? What do I like? What do I want to do? Like, you're not gonna know yourself. And that can damage relationships, and that can damage when you want to start your own family, because it's like, you have no personality now. You have no you. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you're unhappy. To be honest with you, you're unhappy. Let's be real with ourselves. You know? So I just feel like you need to take a moment. And this is hard. I'm not saying like, oh, you're going to do this by next week. Just take a moment and think, without being told, when you did something, what did you like? You know? Like, for me, it was like, when I wasn't told I had to, like, do this, and this, like, when no one was shoving sports down my throat, I was like, whoa, like, I didn't even like basketball and volleyball that much. I mean, basketball and track that much. Like, volleyball was the main one that, like, got me, you know? And it's like, hold on, do I even like sports at all? Like, and I was always told, like, oh, you don't really play games, you don't really like games. Like, yes, I do. I do like games. I love games. I stream now. Like, it's a part-time job. Like, you know? Don't let your parents tell you what you can, what you can't do. Unless you're, like, in their house and it's something like you can't have boys over, because then they're right. But, like, don't let them tell you you can't sing. Don't let them tell you you can't dance. You may not have rhythm, but you can get it. You know what I mean? You may not have artistic ability, abstract painting. Like, do what you want to do. Someone's always gonna love what you do, okay? Your passions, your talents are desired by someone. There's something for everyone out there, and that includes your talents. That includes your personality. That includes your artwork. Like, you're wanted. So, forget that. Do you, boo. Okay, I'm back. This is gonna be the meat of the video. So I'm just gonna get into it. I was raised in a, to most people, questionable way. But the way to sum it up is, my grandmother was very, she's heavy Christian. My mom was semi-Christian. Stepdad was just, he went to church, but that was that. And then there was me and my brother. They are, my mom and my grandma are very strong-minded, very strong-willed. You can't tell them anything. They know everything. So being raised with that was the mindset I had. No one could tell me I was wrong. And when you have two people like that see differently, it's a lot. As I got older, I realized I had depression. I think I realized like 4th grade, but like it didn't really come to surface until like 5th, 6th grade. And then I think the first time I got like official help was 7th grade. And I've been trying to get help since. There's a thing in the African American community and other communities where kids have no reason to be depressed. Bills are paid, you're going to school, you're getting clothes, you have food, you have no reason to be depressed. And I want you to know that that's wrong. Your feelings are valid. You have reason to be depressed. I will say it, I don't think you should ever, I don't think you should take your life in general, but I definitely don't think you should take it over a boy or a girl. But if that has you feeling depressed, that's fine. People are depressed when they get divorces. People are depressed after they have kids. Just because you are younger and you're not married, or you didn't just birth someone, does not mean that you should not have depression. You are valid. Your feelings are valid. It's okay. Don't let your parents tell you, why do you have depression? Or when I was your age, I had to walk up the Himalayan mountains barefoot, and I had to jump on the back of those big trains and ride the cargo to get to school. And that does not mean anything. Just because they lived a harder life than you does not mean anything, yo. I talked about this at the park. Someone's always gonna have it harder, and someone's always gonna have it easier. That does not mean you're not valid. You, like, oh my god. And let me tell you something about depression. My depression stems from my family trauma. It stems from the trauma I've had as a kid. And I'm not gonna sit here and get into it. I'm not gonna sit here and play the blame game. Don't wait for people to apologize. Don't look for your parents to apologize. Some parents, they'll take it and they'll be like my grandma, she's very understanding. She's like, yeah, I'm sorry about everything that happened and now we're good. I'll never have that talk with my mom. I love my mom, I do. But she just does not see the things as trauma. She doesn't see them as traumatic. She doesn't understand how they affected me. And you have to be okay with that. That's the closest thing I have to rejection, is you have to be okay with people not agreeing with your feelings. You know what I mean? Like, her poking at my stomach and pinching me and like counting the calories of stuff that I eat, that has affected me, and now I have severe body dysmorphia. And she sees it as, I was just looking out for you, I was trying to make sure you were healthy, I was just letting you know. And I will never expect my mom to apologize for it. I'll never expect my mom to stop it. I'm 20 and she still does it every time I see her. And that's that, guys. Like, you just have to live for yourself. You have to figure out, like, everything for you. I know that sucks, but it's just like, I would always look at my friends that have like loving families, or like their parents are still together, and I realized like that doesn't mean they're happy. You know what I mean? And even if they are, I should not be envious. You know, like my parents, yeah, they gave me a shit ton of trauma, but I kind of met everybody that I met because of that, and now my friends value like my words more. And they're like, wow, like, I take your advice because, like, I know you've been through it. And it allows me to help others, if that makes sense. Like, now, every time, like, my mom or, like, one of my friends have someone that, like, self-harms or something, they're like, hey, like, do you have anything to say? Or, like, how should I handle this? And I'm not an advocate for every person that self-harms. I'm just a very open person. And I'm, like, down to help with anything. So if that's something you guys want to talk about, feel free to message me in my DMs or Discord or anything. I'm always open to listen to people. I even have a vent chat in my Discord, so like feel free to vent in there. I just feel like everyone needs to get off their chest, and I also feel like a lot of people don't know that it's okay to not be okay. We don't have to keep putting on this face. We don't have to be okay for others because we're like, oh well, if they see me sad, they're gonna be sad, and it's okay. And you have to let your friends know, like, I don't need advice right now. I just need to be by myself, or I just need to vent. Like, you need to be in the moment with your feelings sometimes, guys. Like, you're gonna have to sit there, you're gonna have to cry it out, you're gonna have to journal it out, because keeping this wall up has literally been my downfall every single year. Like, it's like, I'm cool, I'm fine, and I'm not. And that's okay. Like, when I got in touch with my feelings and the fact that, like, I'm not okay, I swear life just made it, like, so much easier. Because it's like, it sucks to go through it, but it sucks 10 times worse to have it build up. And then it's like, I don't even know, I just feel like I'm talking in circles. Just be in the moment with your feelings. Like, let them be. You know what I mean? And, I mean, the way I talk about parents is the same I feel about friendships, you know? Like, I used to think, like, oh, I'm going through a really tough state, or I'm going through depression, like, how does nobody see it? Like, why aren't my friends contacting me? Why isn't my family doing anything? And you can't rely on people for that, you know what I mean? And the reason I thought that was, it was like, I contact my friends like every few weeks, like, hey, are you okay? Are you good? And nobody contacted me like that, and it just kind of sucked. But it goes back to that gift giving thing. You can't expect that from everybody. Everybody's not wired like you. Everybody's not gonna think like you. Everybody's not gonna feel like you. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it sucks, but it's reality. You should not ever play the petty game. Don't play the tit for tat. You know, don't be like, oh, I was there for Jessica on Tuesday, but when I needed her Wednesday, she wasn't there for me. You know, like, that doesn't mean stop being there for Jessica. It just means keep it noted and keep it moving. Like, I have friends like that, like, I'll never reach out to them again. Or they don't reach out to me unless they see me on social media, like, on my spam, that's like, damn, I'm, like, really effing depressed. Or, like, they come into my stream and I'm like, guys, I don't have the power to do it today. And then it's like, oh, are you okay? Oh, if you need to talk. Oh, but when I needed to talk and I reached out, it was radio silence. But I'm not, what am I trying to say? I'm never going to cut those people off and be like, oh, I'll never listen to you rant because you weren't here for me. You know, I keep to myself, and I won't do that. Because it's so strenuous trying to validate and explain my feelings to someone else. Like, oh, this tastes so much better with, like, mad water. This is the Swift Lifestyle Cotton Candy. Caffeine free. You guys could use code Jinx with 2 X's for 15% off. I'll put the link in the bio. But guys, you're doing great. I know this is long and I feel like I was talking in circles, but I don't know, this was kind of more so for me. Like, I don't owe anybody anything. I don't owe anybody any explanations. You know, I'm just here. I'm here to live. I'm here to enjoy life. It's like, I feel like when we try to over-explain ourselves, that's when everything gets, like, mushy. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to explain why you didn't answer their calls, or you're trying to explain, like, why do you feel the way you feel. And I mean, to a point you should, you know, like, if you're like, hey, Jessica, I'm breaking up with you. I'm so sorry. If your name is Jessica, I'm so sorry. But, you know, if I was like, hey, Jessica, I'm breaking up with you, and Jessica asked why, I shouldn't be like, that's none of your business. But I shouldn't over-explain myself. I shouldn't have to over-explain why I fell out of my feelings. People grow apart. And that's another thing with friends. People grow apart. Do not sit here and strain yourself for your family, friendships, relationships, family ships, whatever you want to call it, or your friendships, or your relationships. Don't strain yourself for any of that. If it does not feel right anymore, that's okay. That's okay. I hate the saying, I think this is like the last thing I'm going to talk about, but I hate this saying that blood is thicker than water. Because when I was raised, my mom was like, it's you, your brother, me. It's like us three. It's us three. And sometimes my grandma. But it was like us. Okay, there was no one else. There was no one else to sit here and care for us. There was no one else to love us. Like, we were going to be together. And I'm not going to... Sorry, I was speaking them facts. But it got to the point where it was like, I marked a lot of stuff off that I knew was wrong as a kid to, oh, they love me, so, like, it's okay. Only they can do it, you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people do that in relationships, and I know I took that into relationships. Like, I had this physically abusive ex. I'm not going to get too deep into that either because I don't want to trigger anybody. And it wasn't even that I thought he loved me. It was the situation I was in. I was like, I can't say anything, you know? And it's like, it's not my place, or who's gonna care, or like, I deserve it. And I feel like a lot of families do that to the point they like make you think like, this is all you have. Like, we can do this because we're your family. Like, we're your family. You have to forgive me for whatever I do, however I say, like, you know, but don't, and then they'll always say, but don't let nobody else on the street do this. Don't let any boy put their hands on you. Don't let any girl hit you. Don't let any girl talk to you like this. But then they do it, and it's a very confusing thing as you're growing up, and it's so easy for that line of boundaries to get blurred. And I feel like my voice sounds so shaky, but I put makeup on because I was like, I refuse to cry with makeup on. So, sorry that I sound so shaky. the line is so blurred, and now that I'm older and now that I've like put my foot down, everyone is like, that's disrespectful, or oh sis, you're so cold, or like, why are you acting like that? Like, you've never said that before. Because I didn't have a place to, you know what I mean? Like, I have my own place, you're not gonna kick me out. And I said it even before I moved out. I was saying a lot of stuff, and it was like, if I couldn't stay at the house, I would take that L. I would take that L 10 times over, and I would do it again. I would do it again. If I met my teenage self, I'd high-five her, because I did not deserve to go through that. You know what I mean? It's like, you being like, oh, I can treat you like this because I'm giving you a place to stay. No, you can't. Or, oh, respect your elders. So no. That's why so many people have like abuse or Stockholm or the R word, which I know is super triggering, so I'm not going to say that. Don't speak out, because it's like, you're making it seem like I deserve this, or it's an even trade, and it's not. Like, speak up, set your boundaries. I don't even really talk to my family that much anymore, like at all. And as I got older, a lot of stuff was said about like one side of my family, and when I went to go confirm it, it was all wrong, and they had the facts there, and it broke me, and now I'm building that relationship. But to be able to have my own mind now and think what I want and have my own opinions and get the facts, it makes everything so damaging. And it's just like, it kind of just like broke me. Like, I had a whole personality check, but now I'm like, okay, like, this is okay. Like, I don't talk to a family like that anymore. And if I do, I won't bring it up, because I'm not going back and forth with you. I don't owe you any explanation on why I cut you off, because we were never cool. Because if we were, that would have never happened. You know what I mean? If they loved you, they're not going to sit here and beat the brakes off you. If they love you, they're not going to sit here and use you and drain you of every penny for no reason. And guys, that is not love at all. And family can be toxic. I feel like a lot of people need to get that through their head. Don't be brainwashed. Family can be toxic, and as an adult, it's hard to get over it. But I'm telling you, I don't even know what I'm telling you anymore. But yeah, that was hard for me. That was getting real shaky for me. Wow, we're kind of getting deep. Okay, one more thing, last thing, I promise. Speaking of this, don't let family tell you that you're too young, you're too old to know your sexuality or your religion or your identification. It does not matter if, for 20 years you were straight, now all of a sudden you're gay or da-da-da. Oh my god, my family thought I was gay for the longest when I was a kid, and I was called Jezebel, and I was like, they were like, oh, you want to rub chi-chis with girls? Oh, I wasn't. I'm still not. It was just, I didn't like boys. And for a minute, it wasn't like, I don't like boys, I don't like girls. It was just, I didn't like anyone. I was a kid being a kid. I was a kid being a kid. Like, what do I need to date for? Hold hands with you to go to the playground? That's not a real date. You know what I mean? And that's how I thought. I was like, I'm a kid being a kid. Then I got older and I came out. If you don't know, I'm pansexual. And like, it's not gay. It's not ew. It's not, what a shame, what a disgrace. You're not a disgrace to anybody. You deserve to love who you love. Love is love. And that's that. You don't owe it to anyone why you like who you like, why your preference is your preference. If your preference is African Americans or Asians, fine. If your preference is female and males, fine. If whatever your preference is, you don't owe anybody an explanation on why or how or when. It doesn't, since when were you gay? Since when did it? Why does it matter? That's who I am now. So why does it matter when it started? Why does it matter? It doesn't. If you want to change your pronouns to he, him, to he, they, to she, her, to, I don't know how to say it, but the they, them with the XI and stuff, to each their own. You don't owe it to anybody. You're not a single soul. I don't care how young or old you are. You know what I mean? If you want to be trans, be you. Because why lie about it? Why? To please them and you stay awake crying because you don't get to be your true self? No. The key point of this video is your mental stability, your financial stability, and just your overall health needs to be because of you and for you. You do not owe it to a single person on this earth. And I hope that that made sense. I know I talked in circles and I know this is a long video, but if you get nothing else, please, please get that. I love you. I appreciate you. And love is such a strong word and I don't use it a lot, but I love you. I love you for being you. That's that. That's that. At the end of the day, that's that. If you want to message me all day, I don't care. At this point, my DMs are fully open. If I ever refer to you wrong, let me know. You know what I mean? If you need to be like, hey, I think I want to be dating. If you just need a place to vent, my Discord, we are such an open community. Like, we have people in there that know too much about raccoons, or we have people in there that like to bite eyelashes. That's not my business. You don't need to owe me an explanation. Maybe the person that you bite the eyelashes of deserves an explanation, but I don't, you know? Like, to each their own. Please, if you need someone to talk to, feel free to reach out to me. I am so down to hear you talk, and me and Connie talk all day, every day, like, about the smallest things. I'm so down. So I hope this video helped, and if you guys want more videos like this on different topics, please let me know, because these make me so happy to know that, like, I'm helping someone. Plus, they just feel so real, and they make me excited. So, that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for understanding.